So today we shall discuss the built-in annotations. So in our last class, we have discussed the various categories of annotations like marker annotation, single annotation, and multiple annotations for a class and a method, and how to get both of them using the get annotations method. So the last concept in this particular module, that is the list of built-in modules and their usage. So in the java.language.annotation package, there are four annotations which we can import: retention, documented, target, and inherited. So these four annotations reside in java.language.annotation package. And three annotations are there in java.language package. So one is override, deprecated, and suppress warnings. So these are the 7 annotations that are present in Java 5, that is JDK 5. So JDK 8 onwards, 2 more additions are done. That is the functional interface and safe variable arguments. That is safe var args. So these are the 2 additional annotations. So we'll look into the functions of each one of them. So retention is designed to be used only on another annotation. So retention annotation is used to annotate an annotation. So just like how we used the retention to specify the retention policy. So it can only be used on an annotation. So it cannot be used to annotate a class or a method. Then documented annotation. So documented annotation is just a marker annotation, and marker annotation doesn't contain the members. So it is used to just to annotate and tell the tool to document that particular annotation. So that whatever annotation is there, that will be added in the documentation of the source file. And again, that documentation is used only by the external tools. So again, this documented annotation can only be used to annotate an annotation. So it cannot be used on a class or a method or variable or constructor. So documented annotation can be used on another annotation. The next category of annotation is the target annotation. So target annotation specifies the type of items to which annotation can be applied. So this again, this target annotation, it can be used on another annotation. So here, using this target annotation, we can specify on what type we can apply a particular annotation. Can we use it on a class? Can we use it on a method, or on a variable, or on a constructor? If we want to restrict the use of annotation, we can specify it using the target annotation. So again, all these three, retention, documented, and target, they can all be used on a annotation only. So again, a target annotation, it takes one argument. So that argument is array of enumerations. So in array of constant enumeration, where we specify whether it can be applied on a class, method, variable, or constructor. So all those things are specified in a element type using the enumeration. So the last one that is there in the annotation package is inherited. So inherited is a marker annotation that can be used on another annotation declaration. So again, this doesn't contain any members. So that's why it is a marker annotation. So marker annotations doesn't contain any members. So this particular annotation affects only those annotations that will be used on a class declaration. So it works only on class declarations. Again, this particular annotation causes the annotation for a superclass to be inherited by a subclass. Suppose if we have two classes, one is parent class, another one is a child class. So if you want the parent class annotations to be accessed or invoked or used by the child class, then we can use this particular at inherited annotation on the parent class annotation declaration. So then what happens? The parent class annotations are inherited by the subclass also. The other three annotations that are included in java.language packages override. So override is a marker annotation that can be used only on methods. So a method annotated with at override must override the methods of superclass. So this particular annotation is useful only when we have a child class and a parent class. And if we want to force a particular method to be overridden, so overriding means a method overriding in Java means that a method in a parent class is redefined in the child class. So same name method will be present in child class also. So that concept we call it as overriding. So if you want to force the overriding, then this particular annotations can be used. So if this particular annotation doesn't, it will make sure that the child class overrides a method. If the child class doesn't override a method, then the compiler will raise the errors. So it acts as a way to ensure that the superclass method is actually overridden by the child class. So it is overriding and not overloading. So there is a difference between overloading and overriding. So in overloading, the name of the function will be same, whereas the number and type of the parameters will be different. Whereas in case of overriding, both the name and the function signature will be same. The another annotation includes the deprecated. Again, deprecated is a marker annotation. So it indicates that the declaration is obsolete and has been replaced by a newer form. So what happens when we are building a very large application? There may be several versions. So when a new version of a function or new version of an annotation or a class is declared, the older versions should be removed. So instead, what happens in large application, they will not be removed. So instead, they will be marked saying that it is deprecated. So deprecated means it is an older version, it is no longer in the use, and newer version should be used. So for a source code analysis tools, in order to identify such deprecated or obsolete declaration, so this particular deprecated marker annotation can be used. So the last one in this particular language package is the suppress warnings. So suppress warnings is an annotation that indicates that the warnings that are raised by the compiler are to be suppressed. Again, the warnings that we want to suppress has to be indicated in a string format, which means it takes the member. So if we want the warnings to be suppressed, then we have to use the @suppress warnings. So there is a difference between warning and an error. So if there is an error, means the program cannot continue the execution. Whereas in case of warnings, the program can continue the execution. So such, if you don't want any warnings to get displayed, then we can use this particular annotation, that is suppress warnings. So these are the 7 annotations that are present in the language and language.annotation packages, and all these are defined in JDK version 5. So next is the functional interface. So this is added by JDK 8 onwards. Okay, so this functional interface is a marker annotation, and this can be used on interfaces. So this is used to annotate an interface. It indicates that the annotated interface is a functional interface. So what do we mean by functional interface? So a functional interface is a one that contains one and only one abstract method. So functional interfaces are used by Lambda expressions. So if an interface contains only one method, then it is called as a functional interface. And those kind of functional interfaces can be annotated by this particular annotation. So next one is the safe variable arguments. So safe variable argument, so it is a marker annotation that can be applied on a method and constructor. So it indicates that no unsafe actions related to variable arguments parameter occur. So variable arguments can be passed to a method. So that is indicated by variable arguments. So this variable arguments indicates that the number of arguments that we pass for a function can vary. For example, if you want to perform an addition on n number of variables, then a single method can be defined and variable arguments can be used to pass them. So once variable arguments can be passed using a special indication in Java. So for those kind of functions, we can use safe variable argument. So this indicates that whatever variable arguments parameters are passed, so they are safe. So and it is also used to suppress the unchecked warnings, so which otherwise would have been displayed. So and it also relates to non-refiable variable arguments types and parameterized array initiation. So this is all related to the variable arguments, and they will suppress the warnings also. So again, in JDK 8, we have type annotations. So some of the aspects of the annotations are expanded and they are called as type annotation. So for example, we can annotate the return type of a method. So far we have seen only method can be annotated, or constructor can be annotated, class or a variable can be annotated. Only return type can be annotated. So again, we can also annotate the throws clause that we define in a method, and we can also annotate the generic types, the type parameters, generic type arguments. So this @ type anno. So some type of annotation so that we can apply on the return type as well as the throws keyword. So here you can observe in this particular example, the type anno annotates the null pointer exception which is present in the throws class. Again, this is defined in JDK 8. So then another set we have, that is the repeating annotations. So this is again present in JDK 8. So this enables an annotation to be repeated on a same element. So if you want to apply the same annotation multiple times on an element, then we can use the repeating annotation. And the annotation which we want to be repeating, we have to use the keyword that is @repeatable. And again, this repeatable annotation is added in the language.annotation package. So the value field specifies the container type for the repeatable annotation. So a container is specified for which value field we want to apply the repeatable annotations. So here is just an example of repeated annotation. So retention policy is defined as runtime. It is again defined as repeatable. So my repeated annotation dot class. Okay, so that is repeating over here. And my anno, two strings are defined, string and value. Value default is 9000, string is testing. For this, a container is defined. So a container annotation look like this. Retention policy at interface, my repeated annos. Within that, my anno dot value. An interface is defined. So inside this one, this is having a array of my anno. So which means here if we want to repeat the annotation, we want it multiple times. So instead what is done? An array is used. So if an array is used of type annotation, then we can supply the values, any number of values. So using this particular my anno array, we can apply that particular annotation multiple times. So, and this is called as repeated annotation. So whatever we have discussed till now, so only JDK 5 annotations are present in the syllabus. So the JDK 8 annotations which we discussed, that is the repeatable, then type annotations, and this safe variable arguments and function call interface. So these are not part of the syllabus. Just for the understanding of JDK 8. So these has been discussed. Okay, so with this, we have completed the module 1.